The sense of safety was shattered in May of 2009 in Columbia, Illinois, when a mom and her two sons were strangled to death in their house. At this point in time, 32-year-old Chris and 31-year-old Sherry Coleman had been married for 12 years, and they had two sons, 11-year-old Garrett and 9-year-old Gavin. It all began with a frantic phone call that came through at 6:43 a.m. on Tuesday, May 5th, 2009. Chris called their neighbor, this is Justin Barlow, who also happened to be a detective with the Columbia Police Department. He explained that he was on his way home from the gym. He'd been trying to get a hold of Sherry to make sure she was up and getting the boys ready, but he was unable to get through. Chris was especially nervous since he'd been receiving threats over the past 6 months. This all started in November of 2008. These all stemmed from his career choice. He was the personal bodyguard for Joyce Meyer of Joyce Meyer Ministries. When Detective Barlow walked across the street, he found the Coleman house dark and his knocks went unanswered. By this point in time, a responding officer arrived who walked around the back side of the house and found that the basement window was open with the screen propped against the patio table. As they entered the house, they continued to call out to the family, but they were met with only silence. They smelled a strong odor of spray paint in the air, and as they went up to the main story of the house, they saw the source of it. Threatening messages were spray painted throughout the house. As they made their way to the top floor of the house where the bedrooms were situated, they were met with a gruesome scene. Sherry and her two boys had been strangled to death. So, of course, Chris was brought in for questioning because he was the closest to the family. He was grief-stricken and crying, but never asked how his family had died. Detectives found it odd that the window would have been left unlocked in the house, allowing someone to slip inside. And not only that, but Detective Barlow had installed a camera pointed at the Coleman house, and no one was seen in the footage approaching the house that night. Chris denied being unfaithful to his wife, but detectives did a little digging. Oops! Lo and behold, it turned out he was having an affair with none other than Sherry's best friend from high school. And ironically, the affair started right around the same time these threatening letters appeared. And not only that, computer experts determined that these letters had been typed from Chris's laptop from an account called destroychris@gmail.com. Despite the fact that there was no spray paint found on his body or cans found at the house, Chris had made a purchase in February, 3 months before the murders. 2 weeks after his family was murdered, he was arrested and the trial began in April of 2011. Chris knew that Joyce Meyer had a zero-tolerance policy for adultery, and if he lost his position, he would lose $100,000 a year salary. He was found guilty on the second anniversary of Sherry, Garrett, and Gavin's murders on May 5th, 2011, and he was given 3 consecutive life sentences.